If you want to get the top odds every time, bet with Top Sport's Same Game Multi. Top Sport. Feel the excitement.
Gamble responsibly.
Yes, hello and welcome back to another edition of the Same Game Multi podcast. Another huge episode today coming to you. We're going to take an early look at the race that stops the nation, the Melbourne Cup, which is next Tuesday. Also going to head on over to Abu Dhabi, where there's a big UFC light heavyweight title fight. While we're there, we're also going to check on the Aussies in the T20 against Sri Lanka. And the boys might talk a bit of darts and football as well. So make sure you stay on side because we're about to kick off. As I welcome in on this beautiful spring day, Mr. J Rod Burton. How are you, mate?
Mate, marvellous. Good to be here.
And Chez, how are you, buddy?
Not too bad, coming off a 3-day bender, so a little bit dusty.
You recovered, or?
I'm getting there.
How was it, mate? Where'd you end up?
I just went down to the coast doing a bit of fishing there at the Maelstrom Urunga North Beach area. Very unsuccessful with the fishing, but there was plenty of cans empty by the end of the trip. So
doing your bit for the recycling.
I was.
Nice to hear. Boys, as I mentioned, we've got a huge show. We're back on YouTube this week as well, which is fantastic. So make sure you do subscribe, follow, like, hit the dinger, whatever you got to do to make sure you get the notification that the episodes drop. Make sure you do it. And if you do enjoy our show, please tell your friends, your family, your colleagues. Word of mouth is our best form of advertising. It's free, which we love. But, you know, if you do love the podcast, please give us a shout out to a few mates and spread the word, as we'd love to see a few more listeners and followers every week. Anything you want to say, boys, about the last week?
Yeah, very disappointed in the Victorian Stewards. If you saw the Cox Plate on the weekend, very disappointing. It was actually my tip of Animo that was checked on the line about 50 metres out or thereabouts, which impeded the run. The other horse that it checked its line took Animo, and Craig Williams had to woo up on the whip. So it's hard to say in a race that big. You sort of understand why they didn't uphold the challenge, but you know, at the same time, a race that size, benefit of the doubt. But you know, it is what it is. Would have won a little bit of money if it had happened, but you know, these things happen. But if I have a funny feeling, if that was a New South Wales or perhaps a Queensland race, I think in my eyes that would have been overturned in a heartbeat. Particularly when you look from the reverse footage, the other horse actually knocks Animo, and Animo takes a wobbly step, so loses momentum. Craig Williams also has to settle on the whip, regather the horse, and then try again. So, but you know, that's part of racing, and these things happen. So take the good from the bad. Apart from that, it was a fabulous weekend. It was good.
Who won the Cox Plate?
I'm trying to think. It was an Irish horse off the top of my head. You put me on the spot.
Mate, if I had a bit more prepared, I would have taken you back to a little soundbite from last week. I believe it was my roughie.
Was it really?
State of Rest.
State of Rest, that's it.
If you don't recall, go back and watch last week's episode. Paying $10 when I mentioned it. I had all of nothing on it, but I'll still take the bragging rights there.
Thought was there, which I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but that trainer, he's only 28 years old. He's won a Cox Plate and 2 Melbourne Cups. He actually trained Rekindling. That was the winner. When was that? Probably 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. So at that time, he was only 22 years old, and he's trained the last year's winner. So hats off to him.
Not a bad start to his career, that's for sure.
Not a bad start for a 28-year-old to win a Cox Plate and 2 Melbourne Cups.
Did we go any well in the charity bets?
Well, I back something for a win and it runs a place. I'm backing for a place and it runs fourth.
Mate, I told you don't back them to lose.
Just no luck last week at all.
No, it was difficult. Like all in all for the horse racing and that. Even my charity bet tip, which was in the soccer, mate, it was a difficult day to difficult weekend to pick a winner. That's for sure.
I managed to get one little bet up, boys, and that was Marvin Vittori in the UFC. Had him head to head against Paulo Costa. He was paying $1.57 there, and I had 25 on him. So not a huge return, but a bit of money nonetheless for our charity account, which was great.
Better than I got, mate.
Does that get you off the nudie run?
No, I think I was already possibly. Possibly, if I do have to do one, I was doing it in summer because I can't afford no shrinkage. That's for
Oh,
sure.
I think you picked up a small one a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I think I did.
I must be the only one on the duck end. Hey, it's gone the other way during the
has, it's
football.
flipped.
Hey, during the football season. But anyway,
The tides have turned.
we'll bounce. We'll bounce.
What was your highlight of the week, gentlemen?
Oh, I had it just in my head then.
I'll come
Now
back
it's
to
just
you.
go, yeah, come back to me.
My highlight of the
He's
week.
still coming off his bender.
It's a big weekend for the Chesmeister. My highlight of the weekend was the 5-0 thrashing of Manchester United in the English Premier League.
I saw that. Cost Guru a bit of coins.
Yeah,
there.
the Guru had a little bet on there.
They played Liverpool, was it?
Yeah, Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I actually touched on it last week about how good Mohamed Salah is playing at the moment, and in my eyes, he's the best in the world. And those who have argued, they'll argue that Cristiano Ronaldo is himself and Lionel Messi are the best players in the world. Well, he just remember that Mohamed Salah plays for Liverpool 5. Cristiano Ronaldo played for Manchester United 0. So 5-0 thrashing.
Did he score any goals?
Who's that?
Old mate?
Mohamed Salah got a hat trick. Yeah,
He got a hat-trick,
He
yeah.
got a hat trick. So he is a freak. And and as I said, in my eyes, the only problem is he's very similar to your Lionel Messi's and your Cristiano Ronaldo's and players like that. Because he's Egyptian, the Egyptian side will never win the World Cup, or they'll never really win anything major title sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Same with Cristiano Ronaldo. So being Portuguese, there's a very, very slim chance that they'll win, even like a Euro or something like that. So, but having said that, at the moment they're playing good football and it shows over there. And Liverpool are massive in Australia too. So it's good to see.
How'd you go, mate? Yeah,
Come back to me. Come back to me.
That's good.
My highlight was thanks to Top Sport. They offered a 100% deposit bonus, which got me up on the weekend, paid for my trip away. I used $5, so I deposited $100, which gave me $100 worth of bonus bets. I used $5 on a greyhound, did no good. So I thought, bugger it, free money. I put a $95 multi on 8 legs of tennis. I think it was on Thursday night or something, Friday night. They played over in like Hamburg and Toulouse. All 8 legs got up, so it got me back about $400. So
That was a good.
thanks to Top Sport for that one.
Boys, I'm going to take us over to Abu Dhabi, where the T20 World Cup kicked off in Australia v South Africa. I don't know if you watched the game, but I sat up there. I think it was on Friday night. Anyway, sat up late, and Quinton de Kock, he's fall of wicket. I don't know if you saw it. He hit it straight up in the air. He thought it went down to third man, down the boundary, end up going straight behind him, knocking on and hitting the stumps and getting him out. So
Yeah.
couldn't have it to a nicer bloke. We needed to get him out at the time, which was fantastic. But I thought, what a shit way to
I thought
get out.
being
Especially when you sky that high, the chances of it happens very slim.
De Kock, it might have been middle stump.
Nice one.
Could well have
Low lights.
My low light was actually when going back to the T20 cricket. My low light's actually the West Indies getting bowled all out for 55. Now, the drama with that, I'm going to quickly go through some stats here. So this is the side. 3, 6, 13, 9, 5, 1, 6, second ball duck, 6 not out, first ball golden duck, 3. Now, I'm just going to put this out there. The only player in the West Indies to get double figures was Chris Gale. Chris Gale is 42 years of age.
And what did he get?
He got 13. 13. So,
Yeah.
it's bad when there's a pensioner paving the way for the boys. and having said that, take nothing away from the West Indies. When it comes to this short form of the game, they're some of the best in the world.
Yeah.
But
I did say
obviously
that.
not on the night. So it's disappointing. More
55,
so than a low light. It's a more disappointing.
Yeah. I hear you. That was nearly close to mine too, mate. What about yourself?
Touching on the cricket as well, another favourite getting beat was the India.
Oh, you both stole mine.
Is that yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, India getting beat by the Packies.
How good, mate.
And the Packies have got none out. They got the total without any loss of wickets.
Yeah, I should
There's
have put
some
that as
match
my
fixing
highlight.
payments there somewhere, I'm sure, because I had them in my final leg to win about $300, and I was dirty on them. So I've cancelled me Indian food order for this week as well, just to stick it to them. So
The Indian fare will be $34 down.
hit the economy hard, I will. So. Yeah, but that was mine. That was the 55 from the West Indies and the India getting smoked by Pakistan. So anyway, not to worry.
But I did notice that didn't change the market. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
India
they're
is
still favourites. Yeah, they're still favourites.
So they are.
Yeah.
I got a little player of the week too. Fallon Sherrick, one of the professional ladies dart players, she won her ticket to play in the World Championships over the weekend against all the big guys. There was a couple of games there. She actually averaged over 100. One of the games, she got the second highest recorded score for that event. So hats off to her. She's just playing phenomenal. She features in this week's start, so I'll touch on that a little bit later on. Definitely a bit of a smoky too. I think people go up and play her because they're not used to playing women. There's a bit of pressure on them as well. Might sound sexist, but that's just how it is.
It happened in the World Championship last year, didn't it?
Certainly did.
Sorry, does she actually play against men? There's no men and women comps. It's just all the one.
So the one she played in over the weekend, that was a ladies division comp, but the winners of that got to go through to play. Got their ticket to play. Yeah, it's really good to see. And she actually she made the final a couple of weeks ago. It was at I'm trying to remember the event. Might have been the Nordic Dart Masters. Gerwin Price pulled out. Getawin Price, sorry, yes.
Hey, done his homework.
He pulled out, not of her, but out of the comp, and so that gave her a bye, and she actually made it all the way through to the final and played Michael Van Gerwen. So
good on her.
Yeah.
The other one was Lisa
Ashton.
Ashton, yeah. So she's qualified as well.
She's in her 50s, I think. And she's prepared to go to Q School next year as well.
Now, hey, I'm not being rude, but she is one sour-looking woman. Wow.
Looks like one of those old cranky canteen lunch ladies, doesn't she?
Yeah, I don't know if my yummy drummy's cooked. It'll be fucking cooked there in a minute. But no, it's good to see.
That's good. Good shout out, boys. All right, let's move into three of a kind.
Yeah, boys, this week, three of a kind. And this, I was just saying to the boys here earlier. So we're discussing this. And all afternoon, I don't know if I've got the right ones, and then you think of another one. It's actually hard. It's been fucking with my head all afternoon whilst on the tools. Boys, this week, listeners, what we're going to do, watchers as well, I almost forgot, we're going to do our three favourite UFC fighters. Now, boys, whilst we're on the topic, I'm going to have to apologise for last week's comments. For some reason, I blatantly missed Matty Johns. In my so basically if I had a yacht and I'm inviting three people to get on my yacht, Matty Johns, mate, he's him and Bono from U2. Oh mate, they're up there.
So
on the
who are you kicking out then if you could only have three?
Warren can get fucked. Matty Johns is in there. Nah, boys, this week three of a kind UFC fighters. Boys, I'm going to hit it off with the first one. My first one's going to be Frank Mir. Mm-hmm. Heavyweight fighter from a little while ago. His technique, he had that like a bit of a trilogy, and what I think it sort of started to those grudge matches, rematches. Do you remember when Brock Lesnar went from WWE, from wrestling, or it might have been WWF at the time? I'm not 100% sure, but then he basically came over and they just had this war between each other from Frank Mir and Brock Lesnar. He was a heavyweight title holder for many years, numerous times. So Frank Mir's my number three.
I remember a fight from years ago. Frank Mir fought, I think it was Giant Silver was his name. Massive dude.
Bigfoot Silver?
No, it wasn't Bigfoot. This was before him. This was earlier on.
Okay.
This guy was huge. So Frank Mir's a big man, and he made him look small. Frank Mir had this guy, this big Silver, in one of those arm bars, but Frank Mir's shoulders was touching the mat, and his legs were up in the air, and he's actually popped this big guy's arm.
Oh, wow!
It popped him, and then this guy wanted to stop. He wanted to keep on going. The ref come over, stop the fight.
Doctor's orders.
This big guy's looking at him trying to rage back in. Frank Mir's just standing there what the hell is going on here? Got a fucking broken arm. But Frank Mir is very, very skilled with his mat wrestling and that as well, jiu-jitsu.
He wasn't. I think that's why Brock Lesnar had the wool over him, was because Brock Lesnar was a little bit better striker.
He was
more so than like ground game sort of thing. But when it comes to the ground game, Frank Mir is probably one of the best.
Definitely in the heavyweight.
The heavyweights. He's actually done a lot of boxing work in the last few years to get his striking up. Yeah.
For me, boys, you boys know, but I've been a UFC fan for a long time, but the viewers and listeners might not. And I'm actually going to take you back to someone who probably a little less known than a lot of you might be aware, but a guy by the name of Paulo Thiago. Now, he's a middleweight. He's actually made his debut in 2009 for the UFC. He had a massive win against Josh Koscheck for his debut. TKO'd him.
Anyone that beats Josh Koscheck is an absolute legend.
Exactly. But he's just really tough. The other thing that I also love about him, boys, he's a member of the Brazilian military police. Now, you have to be a badass to be, part of that team. So, nothing in the UFC sort of frightened him or scared him, given his other profession. And for me, he was one of those little ones that stood out to me in my early days of watching the UFC. And it always stuck in my head. He has been retired for a couple of years now, I believe. But go back and watch a few of his fights and tell me that they're not good.
Yeah, he was good. My first one up sold Chuck the Iceman Liddell.
Yes.
Absolute weapon back in his day. Master of Kempo Karate. Wasn't the biggest mat fighter or wrestler, but he could get out of those situations pretty well. He had the good feuds with
Randy, Tito.
Yeah,
Tito Ortiz.
Tito Ortiz.
Randy Couture.
They had 3 fights. Randy Couture, Rampage Jackson. He actually got beat by Rashad Evans after he won the Tough Enough. I think was that the first or second one?
Second.
The second one, yeah. He was the winner of the second series. Actually knocked out Chuck Liddell. Unfortunately, after he stopped fighting, I think he got hooked on the painkillers and stuff from all those fights, and he had a few sort of celebrity moments when he was like under the cameras going to events. He looked pretty groggy and sort of out of it, but that was the reason why he got hooked on the old tablets.
I remember, for those who have or haven't seen the movie How High, have you seen that, boys?
Yep.
It's piss funny. There's
Method Man and Redman, isn't it?
Method Man and Redman. So there's a scene when they're in the college and there's this massive party going on and it goes to shit. There's a pimp comes in looking for his women, blah, 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 and there's this massive brawl. And then in the middle of the brawl, in the hallway, Chuck Liddell's in there throwing cut lunches. It was just a little celebrity cameo appearance, so good to see. Now, my number 2, boys, we're talking, I was going to say, if there's an honourable mention, Chuck Liddell was going to be in my honourable.
It's hard to just pick 3, to be honest. I struggled.
Boys, I'm going to go, 1, because he's Aussie, 2, because I think he is ideally probably one of the fittest fighters in the UFC currently. And he's conditioned to any climate, and that's Rob the Reaper Whittaker. He is an absolute animal. He's unfortunately, all respect to Whittaker, he lost his title to Izzy. In probably what in my eyes was very disappointing fight.
Probably his worst fight he's ever had, I reckon. That I've seen anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think he was outplayed. I haven't said that because he's such a smart fighter and he's such a determined man. He's now, so obviously that, I'm not 100% sure of the date, but their rematch, so Whittaker and Adesanya, the lasagna, their dates have been changed. I'm not sure. I did read an article, Dana White was talking about their dates will be changed for that fight, but he's deservingly got a rematch in his last fight. He basically wrote the textbook, so fingers crossed he'll get the chockies.
Yeah, great fighter. Again, very hard to pick 3, but if I could pick 10, he'd be my top 10 for sure. Boys, I'm going to take you back to another, an old fighter who's still around, and that's Clay the Carpenter Guida. If you have not seen this man, go look up his highlights. He is an animal. He's just a fighter who loves to fight, and he's never shied away from a fight. He'll fight when he's injured. He'll fight when he's getting beat up. Now, his UFC record, he's had 16 wins and 15 losses.
Oh, wow.
Now, tell me another UFC fighter that's still with the company with a record like that. You won't find one.
No.
The reason he is because, like I said, he just comes to fight. Dana loves him. He's entertaining. Doesn't matter if he wins or loses. It's always a good fight. A few little stats. So he's won Fight of the Night 6 times. I won't go through who they're with. Submission of the Night 3 times. And he's also in the UFC Hall of Fame for his fight against Diego Sanchez as well. So phenomenal. Like I said, look up his highlight package and you shan't be disappointed.
Has he got the haircut yet?
No, that's what I love.
Still got the long hair?
Oh, still got long hair, yep. And his brother slapping him before each fight. Fantastic.
It's good to see.
Like the old Tommy Rodonicus.
Rodonicus, yeah.
Like he had that mouth guard too that had like the spiky teeth on it from memory as well. Bit of a fear factor sort of
a
thing.
face off and he's dancing and you see his
Love
teeth.
him.
This one was hard for me. It was just hard to put someone in without leaving people out for the number 2 spot. I was leaning towards like Tank Abbott, some of those older fellas back in those days, Vitor Belfort. I've actually put in Fedor Emelianenko. He was only in UFC for a little bit. It was towards the end of his career. He probably shouldn't have been fighting. at that time because of his age. But he was a master of mixed martial arts, especially with his stand-up and his takedowns. His fighting style was Sambo, I think it's called. And he was trained, it was some Russian military background as well. Very, very fit. He doesn't look very, very cut, which makes him a little bit hard to read. Very, very fit man and can throw big bombs. He fought that big, I think his name's Ho Ming Choi or something, the massive Japanese guy.
With the white hair.
Yeah. This guy was about 7'2", and most fellas just sort of go in and poke around and just sort of try and run around him. Fade would have stood there with him, just went toe to toe.
He got a knockout win just on the weekend, just gone too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, fighting for some PFL or something. I don't know who it was, but yeah, he's still fighting.
He's got one of the best
getting knockouts.
One of the best overhand rights.
Yeah.
They just land, and then when they land, he just goes straight to the ground.
Yeah.
Number one, boys, like it, lump it, Conor McGregor. Like serious, he's one of those sort of people. You like him or you don't like him. I'll shorten this up. He in the last 6 or 8 years has built an empire around himself. He started with nothing and where he is now. Boys, regardless of what his attitude's on and off the field, I don't really like it off the field, but when it's on the field, I thought he turned a corner when he fought Cowboys Zerone. He showed a lot of respect. He was very humble, etc. But when he was fighting Khabib and some people like that. But having said that, a lot of people say, oh, Conor's a bandwagon fighter. When he's going good, people are on the wagon. No. I remember when he was fighting Chad Mendes and fighting nobodies. I was on him then.
Marcus Brimage.
Yeah, Marcus Brimage.
Yeah.
So short and sharp, Conor McGregor. People might not like it, but that's how it is.
I agree. I do like Conor McGregor as well. And one of the famous quotes that I love with an interview with Ariel Helwani, he said, from nothing to something to everything. And it just sort of sums up him. You know, that's his journey. He had nothing, he then got something, and now he's got everything. So, good call. For me, boys, this, again, very, very hard, but this one for me was Diego the Nightmare Sanchez. Now, again, similar to Clay Guida, if you haven't seen him, go look him up. You will not be disappointed. He's had 32 UFC fights. He's the winner of the first Ultimate Fighter series in the middleweight division. Now, he's then gone on to fight in the welterweight and also in the lightweight, which is his natural weight. So he's fighting 2 weight classes above and 1 tough. And I'll never forget the fight against BJ Penn, where back in 2009, it was a massive brawl fight. I think it was a 5-round title fight. He copped a massive head kick to the forehead and just opened him up like a tin can, and there was blood everywhere, but he just kept fighting through it. A few little things again. Hall of Fame against Clay Guida, as I just mentioned. Fight of the night 7 times. He's got performance of the night once. He's tied second for the most fight of the night awards in UFC history, and tied 7th for most wins in UFC history. So he would go down in one of my books as one of the all-time greats. Again, never actually got championship belt and never got the heights of Conor McGregor and whatnot, but just one of those fighters that came to fight every fight.
Yeah, he's definitely up there, isn't he? In the middleweight division, sort of. When you look at him, if you could take him into different eras as well, like how would he gone against GSP at the top level, and then back in the early days, how would he have gone then? I reckon he would have smoked pretty much all of them on his day. My top one. This runs in to back when I was a kid. My old man used to work a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and then on the weekends and
9 to 5.
and then on the weekends and some nights it was a bouncer, and he used to get home late. And we had the old Ozstar back on in the day. It wasn't Foxtel.
Hey.
I used to sit up late on Friday, Saturday nights waiting for him to come home.
Remember he used to have the card?
Yeah, the old cards.
That
He was
used to
going on.
give you the channels. I remember that.
And so I used to sit up late, wait for him to come home. And the K1 kickboxing would be on. And we used to sit up and watch it. And got introduced to Mark Hunt, the Super Samoan, back when I was about, I don't know, would have been 14 or 15, I'd say. Watched him through all the K1s, followed him through Pride. We had the privilege of going down and see him. UFC 127, did down in Sydney. We actually went and watched him live. He was the fight before BJ Penn and John Fitch for the main event. And we had pretty close seats throughout all the undercards. When they were hitting them with the gloves, there were sort of slap noises. When the Mark Hunt fight was on, they were thuds. Yeah. That man is scary. can take a hit, and I love those one-hit walkaways.
Yeah, he did one
love
that
them.
night too, didn't he? Just walk off and
Love
knock
the
out.
shoulders, boys. Yeah.
That guy that he actually beat at 127, I can't remember his name. He was some big blonde dude from, I don't know.
Yeah, he trained with Brock Lesnar.
He actually trained with Brock Lesnar for 3 months leading up to that fight and got pumped at the start of the second round.
Yeah. That was a great three of a kind, boys. I really enjoyed that. Like I said, really hard to narrow it down to three. Makes it really, really hard.
See, there's guys in there like Rampage Jackson, Vanderlei, the
so
Axe
many.
Murder. There's so many in there.
many good ones.
And so many divisions as well.
Well, I was going to flip the coin between Frank Mir and Forrest Griffin.
Oh,
yeah.
Forrest
Yeah,
Griffin.
he's good too. So many.
And so you look at like Horace Gracie as well. Started off that whole jiu-jitsu run, got everyone involved with that, and just showed how you don't have to throw punches to win fights.
All right, we've gone over time for our segment one, so we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back straight after this.
Another half win. From punters jumping in early or waiting too late. You get a good price on one leg, but the others have shortened dramatically. You still win, but it feels like you half win. Introducing Top Sport's Best of the Best multi. Get top odds on every leg, every time. Don't be one of these. Just bet and forget Bob Multi. Top Sport. Feel the excitement.
Don't let the game play you. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
Very good. Thank you for sticking around. We're going to take an early look now at the Melbourne Cup. It'll be on next Tuesday, so it'll actually be on before we record our next episode. Now, there's not much of a market out, so please excuse us. And if you do like something we speak about, probably get on it now because it might come in a fair bit by the time the race kicks off next Tuesday. I was looking through the field the other day, boys, and I put in the group chat, is it a one-horse race? And J Rod, you said yes and no. Can you explain what you meant?
Yes and no. Basically, the winning style of Incentivise the other week basically won in a hands canter, won very convincingly and by a long way. Having said that, boys, there was a horse I actually backed for the Punters Club at the local drinking house down at headquarters, and it was called Grand Promenade. Now, Grand Promenade, it actually won what's called basically a prelude. So basically, it's a free entry straight into the Melbourne Cup, no questions asked, and it won very, very convincingly. And I was lucky enough to be on it. At the same time, too, the horse Persan, and also very elegant in my eyes, is still, regardless of its efforts over the last couple of races, come home very, very, very strong on the weekend. Boys, that's still one of the best horses in the country. And if there's a horse that can go from, a middle distance, short distance to a long distance race at a click of a finger, very elegant's the horse, boys. So, but then having said that too, lads, over the years, like we spoke about them earlier, the Irish Raiders rekindling, the Japanese, if they bring horses over here, they don't fuck around. Delta Blues, Pop Rock, and horses like that. I think I'm not 100% sure of the exact numbers, but I have a funny feeling that there's only one horse, Vow and Declare, that's won the Australian Cup. The basically Australian horse to win the Melbourne Cup since Maccabi Diva. And that was 06 was her last start. So they've basically been, this is the bread and butter, see, for all the European horses. So in my eyes, yes, it is going off Incentivise's efforts in the Caulfield Cup. Having said that, boys, we are stepping up a little bit longer in distance to the Caulfield Cup. So, but as I said, my pick of the yard come Tuesday. I'm actually going to go Grand Promenade after its win. If you're chasing something with a little bit of value, I think it was around 15s when I looked earlier. So Grand Promenade is
$16 on Top Sport at the moment.
So there we go. Thanks to Top Sport, thanks to the team out there. So if you are looking to have a bet as well, Twilight Payment is the other horse. It won last year, so that's the another Irish Raider.
It'll be carrying the top weight too, 58 kilos.
And last year it led and led when it got to the post. I've never seen a horse lead the Melbourne Cup from start to finish. So, boys, how far's Ireland in an aircraft? 22 hours?
Oh, I'm not too sure why.
That's a long way to bring a horse. They're not coming here for no reason.
True. Yes. Twilight Payment is paying $10. Again on Top Sport. Very elegant, as you mentioned, mate. It's 15 at the moment. One that I was looking through, and it actually got up for the Guru on the weekend, was Forgot You.
Ah, yes.
It ran a good race. It was a shorter race. I think it was only about 2,040, about the same as the Cox Plate, but it got up. But it's paying $67, so maybe the distance might be a bit too much for it. But yeah, I just noticed it looking through the guide. I might have a sneaky 10 on that, I think, and
Who was
never
who was the female jockey that won in, was it 2015?
Michelle Payne.
Michelle
Michelle
Payne.
Payne, Prince of
So that was paid
Penzance.
$101.
Yeah,
when she
okay, well,
rode
there
that.
you
So,
go.
yeah, I wouldn't mind waiting to see who the jockeys are for each horse before I put my bet on. I was looking at Sir Lucan as a roughie from the Gay Waterhouse team. Heard Adrian Bott. The other one I was looking at, which I can't keep my eyes away from, was Very Elegant. I think that's going to be my pick. What?
I don't know. I think someone must have had a stutter when they were writing that down because they got 2 R's and 2 E's in elegant. I think,
Yeah,
I
don't know.
it's
That's
elegant. I think,
elegant.
right,
That's
right.
elegant.
He's still coming off his bender, so be kind to him.
And then there's one, I'm not going to put any money on it. Every time I see it, this theme song pops into my head. You boys might remember this. The Chosen One. Remember Jeff Jarrett when he come out? The Chosen One. Hitting people with bloody balsa wood guitars and everything.
Yeah,
That's a bit of old school wrestling for those of you playing at home that might not know the name. So
Yeah, then we've got, so incentivise, Pete Moody, like, always going to be strong there as well. I think the jockeys are done on Friday. I think from memory, and then the barrier draws are done on Saturday at about 5:30. So we'll get a bit more info on them
Boys,
towards the weekend.
How good Grand Promenade runs to incentivise. My biggest tip for Tuesday listeners and watchers is whatever Frankie Dettori is on, stay off it.
no good.
No, Frankie Dettori has come to the Melbourne
What's
Cup.
he ever done to you?
Well, he rides
Shaggy
like
misses or
well,
something,
no,
or-
they call him the butcher because he just chops horses. He ruins them. So
Straight from the glue factory.
But having said that, with COVID, hopefully he's not allowed in the country.
Back
He's-
with the Italian mafia, is he?
Mate, stay in England and ride in front of the Queen, mate, because don't ride in front of me. You're not welcome. But Frankie Dettori, in my eyes, he's. I think I did read a stat. He's had something like 26 attempts at the Melbourne Cup and he's come close. He's ran second or third a few times, but he's never got the chockies. But every horse that I've seen him on, he butchers them.
So he's basically won as many Melbourne Cups as you have.
Exactly right.
There you go. That's one reason to stay off him. Boys, I'll pop the market up on the screen for you so you can have a look there if you are watching on YouTube. But $2.40 for Incentivise, out to $5 for Spanish Mission, and then Twilight Payment is $10 at the moment. So those prices will probably fluctuate a bit by the time the barriers do open on Tuesday. But if you do like any of those, get on now to Top Sport and get your bets on nice and early.
Sorry, mate, jumping in there. I think that Spanish Mission, is that from the USA? I think that horse might be.
Well, looking at that name, you think he'd be from Spain. But
You would. But I've got a feeling it's a...
I'm not too sure. It doesn't give much more information.
no,
at the moment,
it
mate.
doesn't on there. I've got a feeling that horse comes from the States.
Could do. That's a long way to bring a horse. They don't bring them for no reason. So, but that's just the Melbourne Racing Carnival is warming up. They got the Derby this weekend, which is huge down there, and then they carry on to the Melbourne Cup. Then they carry on to the Oaks. I think it's about 6-day racing carnival. And you think the Melbourne Cup Day is big? Off the top of my head, I think Derby Day is probably about 20,000 more than there is on Melbourne Cup Day. So having said that, that's generally Melbourne Cup Day general attendance is around 80 to 90,000. So you add that up, there's over 100,000 people watching the Derby. So that's this weekend. But
There'll be about 25% of that at the moment with
I was
COVID,
going
unfortunately.
to say, I think they've capped them at about 2022.
Which is a shame
22,000.
because it does create that atmosphere, but is what it is, I suppose.
that's it. So my tip of the yard there is Forgot You. That's the one you're looking at. See, that's the thing. Whether it stays in that all-in market, goes to the Cup, or they race it this weekend.
And rest it for the Cup.
In Sydney too, there's another 2 big races in Sydney on the weekend, the Golden Rose and actually the Classic Legend Stakes. Now, there is, I think it was half the field this weekend, so I'll have a look here. If I quick math, 16. So that's 8 horses. Were 8 horses that ran in the Everest 2 weeks ago. So this is the sprint of all sprints. Boys, my pick of the yard there, I'm going to stick with Mars Crusader. I've been on Mars Crusader from the start, and I was on it in the Everest alongside horses that I did mention before, Guitra, Trekking, etc., Eldorado. But I'm going to stick. I'm going to stick solid with Mars Crusader, boys. And then the race after that is the Golden Eagle. Now, boys, this is $7.5 million prize money. In that, I'm going to stick with I'm Thunderstruck. So if you're out there, Hawkeye, Apache Chase is one race, and a bloke that we know fairly well. He backs everything that's got his son or his daughter's name in it. But on the weekend, he backed one. We call him Hawkeye. What was it? I did actually have it saved here.
Hawkeye, tell me about that.
Iowa Hawkeye.
Iowa
Hawkeye. And that paid $25.50 to win.
Got up.
It got the chockies. I sent him a message, and he basically said the word that starts with F, and the one afterwards was no with the rolling eyes emoji. So that's my tip of the yard for the big three this weekend.
Very good. Bit of value there. Hopefully you can get on board and get a winner up in one of those races this weekend and or on Tuesday next week. Boys, let's move across into the big UFC light heavyweight title fight. It's going to be on Sunday about 8:30 in the morning here in Oz. It's been fought over in Abu Dhabi, so a bit of a time difference there. We've got the champion Jan Blachowicz versus Glover Teixeira. Now, a bit of a tongue twister, a few of those names, and I probably stuffed them up, so forgive me for that. Should be a good fight. I was looking at it before and I thought, oh, yeah. But then I started to do a bit of research on it, and both men are coming in on a 5-fight win streak, which is really good. Jan's probably coming in on a bit harder competition than what Glover has. Glover dipped a bit in his career, but he's obviously now got a bit of a resurgence, which is really good to see. Jan's last fight was a 5-round decision against the middleweight champion, Izzy. Izzy actually stepped up into the light heavyweight division. And it was a good fight. I think Jan was pretty comfortable in it, and he didn't really look threatened by the smaller Izzy throughout. But Glover's, his last fight was a 3rd-round submission against Thiago Santos, and that was in November 2020, so nearly a year. And for a 41-year-old man, a year's a long time to be out. Obviously, he's been training and everything like that, and he's probably had a few injuries, which he's been healing up. But we saw last week with Paulo Costa, he was out for about a year, and his gas tank, failed him a little bit towards the end of that fight. And I'm a bit worried the same might happen to Glover with this.
Well, it's one of them things, boys. You can train and condition yourself as much as you want, but it's that match fitness that you need. Under no circumstances when you train, regardless of how hard you train, you cannot simulate the fight intensity, the match intensity, boys. So, as you said, that time off, people go, it's only 12 months, but in that 12 months, he's still training, still doing his cardio and everything like that. But you can go for 30K road runs every afternoon, but you go and take, you go and make 40 tackles, and 40 tackles and 10 hit-ups in a game, good luck.
Get punched in the head for 25 minutes as well.
Exactly right. That
for real, not for
that training like partner. You say, when the boys are on the ground, particularly a lot of, if you watch it, they'll do certain movements. They'll have forearms over people, like over their chin, restrict their breathing, etc. like that. When you're trying to pump a lot of oxygen to your big muscles, particularly legs and arms and stuff like that, shoulders and a lot of back work, boys, that match fitness is very important.
I was doing some light reading on this afternoon. One of the sites I was looking at must have had a bit of a typo. It said he was turning 43.
Oh, okay. Anyway, 41, 43, it's a fair age.
I had him at 41. And then I read something else, and it said he's turning 43 a couple of days before the fight.
Okay.
I think that could be a typo.
Yeah.
Both pretty similar in physique, both 1.8 metres, 93 kilos. Glover's got a bit of reach on him. Watched a few of the highlights of big, is it Jan? Jan?
Yep.
Big Jan. He's got some good hands on him.
Polish power, punching power. Big Poland man. He's big, powerful bopper, that's for sure.
He's sort of got those nice, big, long, straight jabs, like a Lennox Lewis sort of a style puncher as well. So I'll be putting my money on him for this fight, I think. He's going to be my pick.
Glover's tough and he is dangerous, but I think Jan will get the victory here. I think it'll be either a 2nd or a 3rd round TKO. I think the year off will really hurt Glover, and I can see that Polish power coming over the top. Pick.
Yeah, I'm with you there too. Yep.
All taking Jan. Now, there's a great card if you do want to fork out the $65-$70. This is one to get, and if you do, patch us in because I wouldn't mind watching this as well. Just going through the card, like we've got Dan Hooker. He only fought a month ago, and for those of you who don't know, he's a New Zealand fighter, so we'll claim him. But he's fighting Makachev, who is a very, very dangerous fighter as well. Now, Dan Hooker's actually a $5 outsider on that, which I've never seen Dan Hooker at $5, so that just goes to show you how good Makachev is. But he's always in a fight. Dan Hooker, he's tough. Go watch his fight against Dustin Poirier. It's one of the classic as well. Also, you've got Piotr Jan versus Corey Sandhagen. This is a massive fight. I remember Corey Sandhagen, he fought Frankie Edgar, and for those of you who don't know, he nearly made my 3 of a kind as well. Frankie Edgar's been around for years and fantastic fighter. Anyway, Corey Sandhagen, this is probably 12 months ago, I suppose, smoked him, flying knee in about the first 30 seconds. And for me, that was it for Frankie. That's his career over. He should just retire. But he is a prospect, and so is Piotr Jan. So it'll be really interesting to see that fight as well. So, yeah, if you do get the card, let us know and maybe give us your credentials. I'll log in as well.
Tap us in.
Anything else, boys, on that one before we wrap her up?
No.
All good?
Sort of there.
All right. Let's stay over in Abu Dhabi now and in around that Middle East area, and we've got Australia taking on Sri Lanka in the T20 World Cup. Now, this one's a Friday at 1 a.m., so those of you who don't have to go to work on Friday and might want to stay up, this one will finish about 4:30 in the morning. So, boys, I'm going to say it. Finch has got to go. I don't like him. I don't rate him, especially as our captain. Hate me all you want, but, mate, if you saw his performance in our opening match, you'd be hard-pressed to disagree with me. What do you think?
No.
Silence?
No. Finch, I don't know. It's hard to say. Finch he was in a slump not that long ago, and he rebounded back. What Finch has done for Australian cricket, particularly the short game over the last couple of years, realistically, he hasn't done a lot to be sacked. Now his captaincy, I don't. It's hard to say. I play a lot of cricket, and I've played locally at a high level. But the one thing so over the last 3 years, I've been vice captain of first grade. Now we play under 50 over format. I have never captained any T20 cricket. So having said that, I don't understand exactly how heavy it is on a captain, but. When he's not scoring runs, I understand he's not scoring runs, but realistically, boys, I don't think there's too many people in there that who can take his spot. You know, Pavlovsky and all them boys, particularly when we're trying to warm up for the Ashes. I don't think he's done a whole lot to lose his spot. If you're going to put the pressure on someone. At the same time, the burners are on Dave Warner. Dave Warner played. I saw his batting highlights. He played a marvelous pull shot, and he drove a beautiful cover drive, which both went for boundaries of Teixeira Rabada. Boys. Then again, too, I don't think he's done a lot to lose his spot as well.
Mate, I've got Aaron Finch's BBL 10 stats here in front of us. Can you read out his average?
So his average is 113.77.
No, his average runs. Thank you.
His average is
13.77 runs. And that's in BBL. And you always say the BBL is similar to our A-League where we don't even have good competition. He can't even make runs in BBL. How's he meant to make runs in international level? But
then he'll go to India, somewhere like that, and make $3 million. And he so obviously not last year, the year before he made $3 million and almost quadrupled those stats. Boys, it's a slump. I understand, boys. We're not there for handshakes and fairy bread after the game, boys. We want to win every game. Professional sport, it's cheers and pats on the back, and when you're losing, it's a juicy shit sandwich. Don't get me wrong. The burners are on, and I understand where you come from, but realistically at this point, my biggest problem is I don't know who's there to take his spot. That's the only thing.
I think he's got to perform this World Cup. Otherwise, I think it might be the end of him.
Well, I think he'd probably be leaning towards it. In your marvellous stats that you've got here, you don't have his age. But I'm 27 and can't see a beach ball, so hats off to him. But, you know...
You also don't get paid $3 million.
Yeah, well, how do you know? Servy's are wealthy. But, no, but that's the only problem. I understand where you come from, and the same too with Davey Warner. But, boys, I don't know who's there to replace him. And the problem is... Are we picking him? Here's the question for you, boys. Are we picking those two on what they can do, not what they have done? Like in the last 12 months. you go over their career, are they picking it on their career? Or are they picking it? So remember Michael Jennings, for example. He constantly made the New South Wales squad, but he was making the New South Wales squad that year from Panthers reserve grade. They were picking him on, Laurie Daly was picking him on what he could, what his potential is.
And what he had
not
done.
on what he is doing. That's my question. I understand where you're coming from. The only thing is I just don't know who's there to replace him.
That's fair.
Mate, cricket's not my forte. Don't
Very
really watch
quiet
much.
over there, mate.
we
Just let you have a
not my
rest.
thing.
Let you recoup.
Regathering. I'll disagree with you
Thank you.
and say
21 and done's coming up
Aaron
next too,
Finch.
so there's a good chance you might.
Oh, no, yeah.
Aaron Finch on your bike.
Very good. Anything else, boys? We're running out of time for this segment. Did you want to touch on anything else? Or
Quickly on the darts, I've got the World Series of Darts finals coming up this weekend. Starts on Friday. I think possibly that's Saturday over here. First round, we've got some pretty good games coming up. These first round games run into the second round. The second round already have players in there, so they put the seeded players into that second round straight away. So whoever wins the first round knows who they're playing straight away.
Basically like a qualifier.
Yeah. First up, Kim Hybrids versus the Bully, Michael Smith. I'm going the Bully on that one. The winner goes through to play Peter Wright, the Snakebite. Then we've got Ratajski versus Gabriel Clemens. The winner of that plays Fallon Sherrock. I think whoever wins that one's up for a tough game against Fallon.
Christoph Ratajski.
That's what I'm leaning towards Ratajski as well.
He's playing some good darts.
Just so consistent.
Talking about Polish power.
Yeah, and loves those hard grinding games as well. Kuvenhoven, I haven't heard of this guy. He's a new fella.
sounds like a line of furniture at IKEA.
That's weird, ain't it? Kuvenhoven. So he's playing Big John Henderson, the World Cup winner, paired with Snakebite for Scotland. Winner of that plays Michael Van Gerwen. I think if Big John should win this, then he might give Van Gerwen a bit of a shake as well. Coming up next, we've got James Wade versus Mervyn King. There won't be much smiling going on in that match. It's going to be pretty serious and might even be a bit of the old yap happening towards the end. The winner plays Madras Razma. He got a 9 darter the other week. Did you see it when he went to throw his last start for the double and he sort of slipped out of his hand? He juggled it,
fumbled, and
walked back, come back to the line, double 12, 9 darts, bang. Then we've got another new player, Zonneveld. He's playing Chizzy, Dave Chisnell.
Chizzy boy.
Winner of that goes on to play Gary Anderson. So I can see Davey Chizzy and Gary Anderson having a belter there in the second round. Jeffrey Deswan, excuse me, he plays Dirk Van Dugenbogen. Dirk Van Dugenbogen. DVD, as I like to call him.
He's actually handy.
He is.
Oh, I bet he is.
Winner of that plays Gerwin Price, or Gedwin Price, as we like to call him here. I can see Price going through a long way here, possibly right to the final. Aspinall plays Vincent van der Voort. I hope Aspinall flogs him. Winner of that plays the Ferret, Johnny Clayton. Then we got Jose de Souza. Now, this guy, he's pretty comical when he plays, only because he can't really score very well, so he always gets himself in these little predicaments and tends to get out of them. I don't know how. He's playing young Jenny Noppert. Winner of that goes on to play Dimitri Vandenberg. So the winner of that, I think, will eventually go through and play Price in the semi-final. So I'm leaning towards Snakebite and Gedwin Price for a final. Price winning.
Get on the Scotsman, Gary Anderson.
I love the names. I just watch it for the names.
I checked the World Championship start at Christmas time. Gary Anderson 50-1 this year, I think he is. It was either 50-1 or 38-1 or something.
If you've got a $10 bonus bet out there, people, load up.
Rack it on. Very good. All right, we'll take another break and we'll be back with some fun. 21 done, beer of the week straight after this.
You can't beat Top Sport's best of the best multis. Top odds are guaranteed during any Saturday Metro meeting. Plus, there's best of the best to win up to $100,000 on the Melbourne Cup 2. Top Sport. Feel the excitement.
T's and C's apply. Gamble responsibly.
All right, we're back. 21 and done again this week. Winner last week was J Rod, only just getting the victory last week. So we'll see if Cherry can get a bit of a redemption this week. Test your buzzers, please.
Birdman.
Ches.
All right, now I've got 3 easy ones to start off this week, boys, because you struggled with the one easy one last week, so I've extended it to 3.
Struggle with any of them.
All right, let's go. Which NRL club has former Bulldogs bad boy and toilet cubicle officer Adam Elliott signed with for 2022 season?
Ches. It's not going up to the Redcliffe Dolphins, is he?
No, that's 2023.
Rams.
Just announced yesterday, I think.
Adam Elliott, Birdman. I'm going to go Tigers or somewhere shit like that where he belongs.
Not the Tigers.
God.
I don't.
I'm going to toss up between Knights and Sharks here and go Sharks.
Yeah, incorrect. Think Guru.
Oh,
Bertman, Raiders.
the Clappers.
Raiders is
it
the
really?
one.
Wow.
And that was Toilet Cubicle Inspector Officer. Sorry, I mispronounced that. All right, who ran third in last week's Cox Plate?
Bertman, very elegant.
Yes, very elegant. Very good.
I know I ran fourth.
All right, last of the easy ones. How many strikes do you get in baseball before
Bertman,
you're out?
3.
Got a bit of work to do, Cherry. All right, multiple choice. In the 2021 Women's Surfing Championship Tour, what current ranking is Aussie Sally Fitzgibbons? Is it A, first, B, second, or C, third?
Ches second.
I'm going to go third.
Third is correct.
Yes! That's all right. Don't get your hopes up, listeners, because I'll probably get robbed at the end. As usual.
4-zip. All right. The term full court press is used in which sport?
Bertman, basketball?
Basketball is correct. 5-zip. Holy Jesus.
That's all right.
You're right. Just test your buzzer again. Hey, do you want to change to my buzzer?
Oh,
Because it actually worked for me last week.
No, it's all right.
Okay.
Got my sonnies here for the...
Which former Aussie tennis player had the nickname the Scud?
former. I know Leighton Hewitt was a bit of a scum.
No.
I'm going to go Philippoussis, Bertman.
He's
Philippoussis.
got it as well. Fucking hell. 6-zip.
Wow, that was a guess too.
Wow. All right. This one's for you, Cherry. How many Super Bowls has Tom Brady won?
Bertman. It's phenomenal, isn't it? I'm going to say 9.
Ooh, over to you, Cherry. Not that many. Little help for you there.
Ches 7.
7 is correct.
Oh, he's off.
on the board.
The comeback begins.
Here it is. All right. Who captained Queensland in the very first ever State of Origin game in 1980?
It's someone rather obscure, isn't it?
No. He's no longer with us.
Ches. It wasn't Artie Beetson, was it?
Artie Beetson is correct. 6 plays 2. What is the highest possible score from 3 darts?
Ches. 180.
Oh, that was close.
That was a Gary Anderson answer, that one. Quick as he.
All right. In golf, a sand trap is also known
Ches.
as a what?
Bunker.
Bunker. He's a
The comeback is on.
I just need a bit more booze.
All right. How many laps of an Olympic-sized pool do you need to swim in a 1,500-metre race?
Ches. 15.
30 is correct.
Oh, they're 50, aren't they?
50, not 100 metres, yes. Oh, he's put a stop to it. All right. Now, this is a follow-on question from that, and it's also multiple choice. How many Olympic gold medals has Kieran Perkins won in the 1,500 metres? Is it A1, B2, or C3?
Ches 2.
Correct. And they were in 1992 in Barcelona, 1996 in Atlanta, and he actually got silver at the 2000 Olympics in Sydney. So he could have made it 3, but unfortunately he didn't. So 2 is the correct answer there. All right. Now, this one's probably for you, J Rod. What sport would you be playing if you were a tight end?
Ches. NFL.
I would have accepted gridiron as well. So, yes.
No worries.
6 plays 7. Very close. Very close. All right. Which former New Zealand NRL cult hero is facing life in prison
Bertman.
for alleged drug importation?
Manu Vatuvai.
Manu Vatuvai is
Big
correct.
smuggler.
Yes.
Gee, I loved him too. He was good.
Yeah. Well,
Disappointing.
yeah, it is. What is former Aussie cricket legend Andrew Symonds' nickname?
Oh, Bertman. Simo? Technically it is.
Yes,
It's
I'll
not-
give you that. I'll go throw it over to Ches. I will give you that if Ches doesn't get it correct. There is another one, which he's more known for.
No.
No?
But Roy.
Roy.
Roy's the other one.
Yeah, but I would have given you, I've got Simo in brackets, so I'll give you that. Another multiple choice. So, New South Wales NRLW captain Kezi Apps has recently signed with which club for the 2022 NRLW season? Is it A, St George Illawarra, B, West Tigers, or C, Parramatta Eels?
Birdman, I'm going to go Parramatta Eels only because they're the new club.
You would be incorrect.
I was going to jump in real quick and say Redcliffe Dolphins again, but we'll go. What was it? St. George.
West Tigers.
West Tigers.
Yeah.
St. George was her old club, and her and Jess Surgis have gone across to the Tigers. So 10 plays 6. We've got about 5 questions to go. What would the total number be if you added together all the numbers on a standard dartboard?
Oh, fucking hell.
Bit of a maths question. So 1 + 2 + 3 + 4.
Yeah.
Ches will do it. I'm going to be fucked.
Have a drink.
400.
Thought you would have known this, honestly.
No.
That's not how it goes.
Getterwin would know, let me tell you.
I'm going to have be in the 300s.
No. Incorrect.
200s.
Yep.
Oh.
It's not as high as you think, you know. Anyway.
I'm just going to random guess here. 237.
Lower.
211. Oh, you're
210.
Yeah.
Oh. Thanks, Bert.
no worries, mate.
210.
Teamwork.
I did that 4 or 5 times to make sure I got it right as well. So, all right. What is the brand of the official tennis ball of the
Ches.
ATP Tour?
This will be wrong. Dunlop.
Dunlop's
It is.
correct,
Oh,
yes.
I was looking at it. I was thinking that in Spalding. I couldn't.
10 plays 8. 10 plays 8. All right. Former UFC middleweight title contender is Chael who?
Ches Sonnen.
Yes, Chael Sonnen.
Used to be a real estate agent, didn't he? Used to sell houses.
He did, yes.
You'd hate to turn down his offer.
Fucking whack.
All right, this is close. 10B9. All right, this year saw father-son combo of Ivan and Nathan Cleary win the NRL Premiership. Which other father-son combo won in 2003 also for the Penrith Panthers?
Well, actually, I remember seeing the photo of him.
I think of the team. Ryan Girdler. Sattler.
Guy was there.
Want a clue?
Yeah, we need one
Randy
here.
was there.
Want a clue? Think long hair for the player. Long, flowing
Sideshow
black
Bob?
hair. And the dad, the coach, used to wear a Kubra on the field, on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
Got it now?
No idea. I'm going to go Gower.
No.
Gower, no.
I'll give you the surname. You've got to give me the first names. Lang. L-A-N-G.
Johnny Lang.
Yep.
And
that's the father.
KD.
KD Lang. Give him the points. Give him the points.
Marty Lang. 10 apiece. All right. This is fantastic. Last one. Which sport is commonly associated with a yellow jersey?
Ches.
Oh, this way.
Yeah, it's cycling.
Cycling.
Yes.
Yes.
No robbery this week, listeners.
2 in a row. I had to listen really carefully to that. So
Nah, Birdo got that one.
yeah, I'll give him that as well. 2 weeks in a row, mate. You got a bit of you started off horribly.
Oh,
6-0.
comebacks are always on the cards.
6 point lead. You just got him by 1. That's pretty poor performance.
Me sphincter was winking.
Very good. Love that. All right, let's jump into beer of the week. Thanks to the Whitebull Hotel, as always, great sponsors of the show. Get on down there if you are in the local Armidale area for especially in this hot weather. You know, you're going to need some liquid nullifiers there for when you're out mowing the lawn on the weekend. That's for sure. What have we got this week, boys?
We'll have one for breakfast anyway. This tip. We got
Yeah, for the last couple of days.
Bolter, Captain Sensible. It's a mid-strength, bit of a.
Don't know what it's doing here.
No, bit of a sort of a fruity IPA flavour there. So we've got a bit of a spiel on the back here. We had a bit of a read before we started off recording. I'll quickly go through it. Sensible, like contributing to your super fund with the pleasure of riding a supercharged jet ski.
Fuck, I don't know if it's that good.
This ale balances refined malt undertones against vivacious hop notes to round out a full taste and a mouthfeel that defies its mid-strength nature. Perfect for those who like to keep a lid on it but still want to crack the top off a couple. From us to you with enjoyment. I disagree on that one. These aren't real good. For me, a little bit too fruity. A bit like Pasito, I think. You know, the old passion fruit fizzy drink.
Passiona.
Not my sort of thing. Thanks, Hawkeye, anyway, mate. You did try your best, but one stubby lid from me this week.
But there definitely is a market out there, so if you do like that kind of fruitiness beer, get on
definitely
down to the Whitebull and see him there in the bottle mart and get yourself a can or 6.
Giving it the 1, Ches, it's, as you said, it is heavy when it comes to fruitiness and that hoppy sort of flavour. There's a couple of big words in there that I can't pronounce, so that it loses marks for that. Hey, that's just the joys of being a tradesman. It's not bad. It's not bad. Captain Sensible, I like the notes. Called that, obviously, because it's a mid-strength, boys. I'm going to give it 3.
3, that's solid.
I think it reminds you of that one we had the other week, the West Coast one a little bit. Remember that one?
We should go through and do a reel of the bad ones.
Yeah, I think so.
Pirate Life.
Ooh.
It was in there. What was that one? It was.
How about we do a highlight of the good ones so that the people get down to the bottle mart and get themselves a 6-pack or 2.
I think Stone and Wood are leading the charge on that one.
Cooper's, the Cooper's one you had the other week.
Coopers.
It was quite good. He got a high stubby rating.
4X Dry, that was a pretty good dry.
Yeah,
got 5.
Oh, take it back to the Gold Coast, that 4X Dry, doesn't it?
Daddy.
One thing that I'll refuse to get, unless you want to try one, I'll split a 6-pack. I'll get something else. There's Little Creatures. So if you ever want to do one of them, let me know and we'll have to do a half-half for the week.
Are you talking about drinks or?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking something. Me brother enjoys it. The Little Creatures. Yeah, we'll give it a bend.
See how we go.
Anything else, gentlemen, before we wrap her up and let the audience go?
I don't think so.
Should be right. Good weekend of sport coming up.
Oh, charity bets. Let's go charity bets. Almost forgot about that. Thanks to Top Sport, $50 each to bet for our nominated charities. I'll kick us off, boys. I'm actually going a little bit of a multi here, so I'm going on the Melbourne Cup. I'm going to incentivise into Yarn to win the title there against Glover, and into Australia to beat Sri Lanka in the T20 World Cup, everything we spoke about today. That one's paying $4.55, and I'm having the full 50 on that one, so we should get a good little return on that if we get that all up.
I'm going to actually split my bets, a little bit different this week. Saying before about the darts, I think Girl and the Iceman Price is going to take this out on the weekend. So I'm going to unload $15 onto him. There's no odds as yet, as it's still a few days away, but I'd imagine he'd be around that sort of $3 mark, maybe in the high 2s. The other 35, I'm going to load on
25.
No, 15.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
15 on Price, and I'm going to put 35 on the 35 on the UFC. Yan to win.
I like it.
Just a nice head-to-header. That's paying $1.37 on Top Sport, so that'll triple up. So if both those get through, I should be close to about $80 return.
Boys, I'm going to have a 3-leg place multi this weekend. I'm going to go...
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
No, that's it.
You don't back him to lose.
Back it up.
You don't back him to lose.
No, boys. In a multi, that's it. I was waiting for that too. Fuck the lot of yous. In a multi, it's acceptable, boys. I'm thunderstruck. Mate, you want me? Bet or not?
Give the bets. We're going to wrap it up.
I'm thunderstruck. Masked Crusader into Forget You, 30 on that, $10 each leg, so $30 all up for each of them to place to lose. And then I'm going to put my 20 on Grand Promenade next week to win the Melbourne Cup.
Very good. So we've got a few that will be holding out till Tuesday before we actually get a result, which is great. Keeps it in play and keeps it excited for over the weekend as well.
Just quickly, I remember years ago, I was working with the old man over at the pub, and
YCW?
No.
Do you remember when I was like 14 coming in there getting chicken schnitzels?
Even when I was thinking about 10 years old, just come and get lunch off me.
Sure, it was
Melbourne Cup Day, I was fucking short on coin, and it was like a day before payday. Dad said, what'd you back for the Melbourne Cup? I said, I haven't put anything on, don't have any money. He said, here, I'll loan you 50. And I said, no. He said, what do you want to back? And I said, I was looking at Green Moon. He said, here, $50. And I said, no, that's right. Watched the fucking thing come home and it paid 20 to 1. Fuck, I was dirty.
I remember that Irish horse as well. I remember my first Melbourne Cup, I was 18. Went down to the pub with the boys. I said to me old man, who's a keen punter, and I said to Dad, I said, what's your tip? And he said, boys, there's a horse by Gay Wardhouse called Fiorente, and it will not be beaten. Guess what? It wasn't beaten. I didn't back it.
Very good. All right. Hopefully there's a bit of value out there. As I said off the top of the show, we are back on YouTube this week. Make sure you do subscribe. Even if you are only listening to us through audio, subscribe wherever you do get the podcast. And please, please, please let your friends know. Spread the word. We've got some exciting things happening. We're looking at maybe a little tipping comp for the BBL coming up. We're going to have some good giveaways as well in the next few months. So make sure you head on over to our website and become an SYEB club member as well. Sign up and you'll get the notifications as soon as our episodes drop. So thanks again for sticking around. And as always, stay on side. And as the great Mother Teresa once said, don't use filters on your dick pics.